Hey, you guys, welcome to our Tuesday night tip from the top call. We are super duper blessed. We have Sonya Dudley here tonight with us. We're excited to hear her story and for her to share a little bit of her amazing tips with us. So I'm going to give it to Sonya.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I am so excited to be on here with you guys. I just appreciate you guys bearing with me from last time. So thank you. Life happens when you get in your late 40s. You sometimes deal with a lot of aging parents, and that's what we're dealing with. And so I'm very thankful that I have network marketing and I have Plexus that I can be flexible and be able to be there when I need to be there. So thank you so much for having me on tonight. So let me just share my story with you. I'm going to watch the clock and try to stay right on pace, have a lot to talk about. I've been in network marketing for 20-something years, like 24, 25 years. I started network marketing when I was 19 years old, and I was looking for something that would be very flexible, but that I could make some money going to college. And my aunt suggested that I join this network marketing company, that I could do some home parties and make women feel pretty, and y'all get the drift. And so I thought, okay, I'll do that. That sounds good. At 19, I had to go to the bank, and I borrowed $1,000, and this was in 1989. So that was equivalent to probably $2,000 or so today. It was a lot of money. And I went and borrowed the money. It was my first loan. My mom co-signed. And I was in business, and so I knew every month I had to make enough money to pay that bank note, that monthly check, that monthly loan, and then I knew I had to make at least a couple hundred a month for all my living expenses. My mom paid my rent, but I agreed to pay everything else. And my mom, was a single mom for a long time, so even when she was married, she married my stepdad. She was still kind of the sole provider. I mean, he did okay, but I mean, I've always had to work since 7th grade on. I've always worked. So I had a really good work ethic, and I think there's a lot to be said about that. So when you feel like you have to do something, to eat and survive, I don't think my mom would have let me starve, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I really had a commitment that I needed to pay that loan. And so I worked that business. I did it for 17 years. I quit college my senior year to go full-time and win my car with that company. I thought I would do it forever. And I worked it 17 years. And then I woke up one morning and I was really sick. And I felt like I had a tooth throbbing all over my body, and it was a very miserable illness. And so for about 5 years, I just tried to get healthy, and I tried other things in that 5-7 year window. And then Helen, my best friend, brought Plexus to me, and she said, I know we said we'd never do network marketing again, like ever, but she said, this little pink drink, I really believe could really help your health. And she said, I also feel like if it helps your health and we like the taste of the product, I think we can promote it and make a business out of it, because she said, I've looked at the business plan and I've never seen anything quite like it. So I was intrigued, and I was really intrigued by the fact that I didn't have to do parties. I didn't have to invest a lot of money, and that I could, possibly feel better. So I joined in September of 2012. There were no diamonds in the company. There were only 18 jewels in the company, no diamonds, and 18,000 ambassadors. And that was in 2012, September. And then I hit diamond in July of 13. And I think I was somewhere between the 3rd and the 6th diamond, somewhere in there, because there were a few of us that hit that same month. So I've been able to really see the company grow, to a lot of diamonds and a lot of jewels. And I think there's like 120 diamonds or something. And so it's been fun to be a part of all that growth, to go to around, 300,000 or 400,000 ambassadors versus 18,000. But with that growth, there's been a lot of growing pains. And anytime a company grows that fast, the people who were in the beginning we saw how sweet it was and how great and how, wow, the momentum. It was a little more like, it was hard in the fact that we didn't have catalogs, we didn't have videos, but it was easy in the sense that it exploded, it was new, it spread like wildfire. And as things level off, people have to realize companies go through ups and downs all the time. And we've leveled off, but yet we're starting to creep back into a momentum again with all the new things we have in place and all the new executives that are in place. I mean, the next 2 years are going to blow your mind. Like everything that I had in the other company, because when I joined that other company, it was in business 25 years when I joined it. And then I was in it 17 years. So it was smooth go from day one for me with that company. Now, it was already above ground floor. There wasn't near the money to be made. You know, I make what probably a senior Ruby's making. That was kind of my highest paycheck in that company. So, and probably my average paycheck, even after 17 years, was probably what senior gold to Ruby makes in Plexus every month. Yeah, after 17 years. So I think Plexus people are spoiled, rotten, really, because I think that they, if it's your first rodeo and then you have an off month, you're like, what? But you got to realize that what you're making in Plexus, even if it's just a couple $100 a month, what are you doing for that money? And so it's changed my life. My health changed right away with the products. And over a couple months, it completely give me my life back. Like I wouldn't go a day without these products. So first thing I would say is be a product of the product, like in the biggest way, be a product of the product. You cannot expect to have your belief where it needs to be if you're not loving these products. So if you need to shift up your routine or whatever, you need to shift it up, do it. You've got to have belief in the products. You've got to have belief in yourself. Where does that come from? Belief in yourself. That's a 6-hour seminar, but that is mindset. And you have got to watch what you're saying to yourself. You've got to watch what you're listening to. If you're in Facebook threads that are very negative, just talking about how miserable things are, you better just get out of it. Because what you put in your mind, you will see the results. So if you're looking right now at your results and you don't like your results, I want you to think about it's coming from whatever is going in your mind. You plant corn, you get corn. You can't plant corn and expect, turnips. You get what you put in. So it's huge. So you got to have belief in yourself. You can get that through, positive affirmations, changing your mindset. You do that through lots of good books. I've got books everywhere. They're not behind me. They're in front of me on this bookshelf, but I have books. I've got 4 new books, and I can't wait to dive in, and I don't know which one to start with. So always want to feed myself more. And just, you've got to be hungry. When you want success, as I think Les Brown says this, when you want success as much as you want to breathe, you'll find it. You've got to be hungry, as he says. Focus on what you can control and not what you cannot control. And we're dealing with a lot of family illness right now on both sides, and it's taking a toll on my mind and my energy. And I have to stop and say to myself, Sonya, what can you really do about this situation? Y'all, I have to talk to myself a lot like this, especially when you're going through trials. You have to pull yourself out. You can't expect other people to. You're the only person who will never leave you, and you better be able to pull yourself out of it. You got to say, if everyone left on my team, and there was no one left, and I had to start over, am I willing to do it? And if not, okay. But if you are, you better figure it out. You either quit or move forward. There's no in between. The complaining, the whining, I'm not where I want to be. Okay, what are you going to do about it? Either quit or do something about it. Put your big girl panties on and run. Make a decision. I'm an adult. I'm tired of using excuses. I'm tired of blaming. And I'm ready to clean my act up and get serious about this. You can't say, I'm mad because I didn't make a $500 paycheck if you're not putting in $500 worth of hours a week. And what does that look like in Plexus? You need to know what things like that look like. So only what you can control. You can control your effort, your activity, your skills. You can control all that. You can perfect your skills. You can watch videos and get good at things. You can read books, get good at things. You can practice. You can do income-producing activities. You can give out your business card and meet people, build those connections. But you can't control the results of that. So you can only control your effort. So I would say do a lot of that if you want to move up. But have a goal to do so much a day. You've got to have a good why. You've got to have a why that gets you out of bed. If you don't have a why that gets you out of bed, then you need to go back to bed because there's no purpose in your day. You will allow things to happen to you for the day instead of making things happen if you don't have a why. Have you ever noticed you've gotten up and you just felt yucky for the day and then everything bad was just kind of yucky and you're like, it's going to be a rotten day. I don't really feel like doing anything great. I'll just piddle around here. And then before the day's over, you just wasted a day. You have to purposely change your mindset and say, you know what? Started out yucky, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to reach out to somebody and give them a compliment, make them feel good. I'm going to count my blessings because there's other people worse shit than I am. I'm going to shape my attitude up and start over. And you got to be willing to do that. You have a choice on how you want to handle things when things happen to you. You have two things to choose from. If something happens to you, you can blame. You can blame everyone and be a victim and say, this business doesn't work. My team is horrible. Nobody wants it. If I only were better at talking to people, if I only had a more supportive husband, if I only had more time, if. And while you're ifing, there's somebody else working. So you can do that, or you keep doing more of what you're doing. You brush up on your skills, your self-talk it's like you're earning while you're learning. So you've got to be willing to work as you're learning and just block off that time every day. Listen, guys, if you will just work on yourself and your mindset and your belief and your self-image, and you work on what's right here between these two ears, if you will focus on that for 60 days straight, like 5 days a week, like I'm working on me, 30 minutes a day, after a couple of weeks, you're going to feel different. After a month, you're going to be standing a little taller and starting to see some results. After 6 weeks, you're going to be going, wow, this stuff's working. I'm feeling good about it. This is good. 8 weeks, you're going to be like, I would never go back to the way things were. Now, you may not be in Plexus a year from now or 2 years from now or 3 years from now. But I'm talking about if you work on you, you will be the best at whatever path you take. This is a great opportunity for you to learn and get good at life and at yourself. It prepares you to be a better person in life. And then if you love Plexus, then you'll apply it to Plexus. The other thing you can do, number 2, is so you either blame, or you keep doing more of it and get good. So you got 2 choices. Trusting that process. Keep doing what you're doing, trusting that you will get there because you're trusting the process of, heck, if I improve myself over and over and over and over and over, and I don't quit, 1 + 1 = 2, right? I mean, that makes sense that you will grow and start seeing fruit from your labor. You are leading a volunteer army. Kimberly, I have a quick question. You don't have to unmute. You can just shake your head. But am I supposed to stop and allow for Q&A? Is that normally what you do or not? You may want to unmute.
No, you're good. You go ahead. We're
okay,
just so all up. You're good.
Okay. I won't do Q&A. I might let some chat. Y'all can unmute. I'll stop in about 7-8 minutes, and then I'll take some Q&A, and then I'll just shut off at 8:30. How about that?
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So you're leading a volunteer army, y'all. You're leading a volunteer army. Have you ever tried to herd cats? Have you ever tried to call cats? Okay, that's what some of you right now are trying to do. And some of you are trying to herd your cats. What you need to do is go get you some dogs and that you can train and call. Get you some running dogs, and you're going to have cats among those running dogs. But you can't make people do anything. You're leading a volunteer army, so you have to lead by example. And some of you are trying to tell people what to do without doing it yourself, and you're mad because nobody's doing anything. Well, quit worrying about your team and just work. And some will, some won't, and some will just, some will, some won't, so what? Some will catch on, some won't, some will quit. And that's the way this kind of business works. The cream will rise. People are conditioned to quit. Okay? They're conditioned to quit. People are conditioned to quit. When things get hard, what do people want to do? Give up. That's all of us. When things get tough, we go, I just want to just make it go away. I think I'm just going to not deal with it today. It'd be easier just to forget about it. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. People are designed for success. God made us that way, but they're conditioned for failure. So we're designed by God for success, but because of other people's negativity, other people's negative beliefs in us, beliefs that we've taken upon ourselves that are not true, our insecurities, we're conditioned for failure by those circumstances. Most people wake up every day looking for a reason not to win. Most people do not expect a victory. You have to start saying, I am so excited that today great things are going to happen to me today. It feels so awesome to have people calling me out of the blue and joining my team. I am so excited that everywhere I go, I get new customers and ambassadors that want to work. It's exciting that I'm so confident that everywhere I go, people are drawn to me. I'm a very confident person. It feels so great to be earning $5,000 a month or more. Always say at least and more. You always say at least. Like, for example, if you're wanting to make $1,000 a month, you don't say it feels so good to make $1,000 a month. You say it feels so good to make at least $1,000 or more a month. So at least or more. I'm excited to hit Gold Ambassador at least by March 31st or before. Okay? Those kind of things. So just think about those conversations. So you will never rise above the image you have of yourself. I'm going to end with that. It is very critical that you envision, that you take 1 minute every morning before your feet hit the ground and you envision yourself where you want to be. You watch yourself holding that emerald trophy across stage. You watch yourself getting that Hawaii invitation in the mail. You watch yourself at that Lexus dealership. You hear your husband congratulate you and hug you. You watch yourself quit your job and come home. Whatever it is that you're thinking, you got to visualize it too. So, all right, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to, y'all can unmute yourself, and I've got 8 minutes for Q&A, and I'm happy to answer them.
Sonya, that is so awesome. I love hearing you talk. I came to your mindset training, obviously, back in August in Little Rock, and I have pages and pages of notes from that, and then I seriously think I just took like 5 pages of notes just now, and I'll probably take more next time I rewatch it, because I always rewatch these. So does anyone have any questions that they want to ask Sonya before she goes?
I'm an open book, you guys. You can ask me anything.
We have about 7 minutes, guys. Come on. All right, Melissa.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm chewing my food. I'm also from a small town that has literally nothing. So you hear a lot of, well, I can't afford that, or there's always circumstances, or, well, I don't really need that. So I have to constantly reaffirm them that it's all in what you invest in. You're not having the energy. You're not. So I guess it's just a struggle because you feel like you're beating a dead horse sometimes. And so I didn't know if maybe you had how you overcame some of that.
I have several tips for you on that. One thing is you can't make them think you're desperate. You have to turn it around as more about, oh my gosh, I'm slammed with business. I'm so busy with people because everybody is ready to get healthy and fit and trim. You've got to talk in the manner of drawing people to you, confident, bold. When you're talking to somebody and they say, you're making a conversation, they're like, I wish I could afford it. Instead of you trying to convince them, you could say, all right, I'm sorry, who am I talking to again? What's your name? No, your name.
Melissa.
Melissa. I don't like that your name's gone. So, okay, Melissa. So you could say, Melissa, let me ask you this. I know it could be pricey depending on which products you get on, how many you're on, but let me ask you this. What are some of your struggles right now? What would be some of the reasons you would consider getting on the products? Help me out. Name some things that you struggle with. And have her tell you a few things, and if it's somebody like me in a small town, you probably know them. So you could probably say, well, what about, like if they tell you 2 or 3 things, you could say, well, what about energy or weight loss or any of that too? Well, yeah, I could lose 15 pounds. That's not the main thing, but yeah, I'd be happy with that. And of course I could use more energy. Okay, well, you know what? These products may or may not be for you. They may not. But what I can tell you is they have helped so many people I know with exactly the things you just said. So I'm going to ask you this. What if these were the last products you ever had to invest in? And what if they changed your life so drastically that you were able to, you were telling me you have this and this, maybe you wouldn't have to be on medications, possibly. Doesn't do everyone that way, but what if you were able to come off some of those? What if you were able to not be as sick and not have to go to the doctor as much? What if you felt like $1 million? Would it be worth it to you to invest in that? And you know what? If it's not, we got a 60-day money-back guarantee. So what do you really have to lose? You know what, Melissa? You let me know if you're interested. I've got a lot of people I'm working with right now to get on board. I'm not going to bug you, but you let me know because, girl, I'm telling you what, this thing is the thing to be a part of right now. Okay?
And then I would follow it up with, where do I sign up? That was so convincing. Thank you so much.
Well, it's all about your belief, your confidence. It's about you kind of taking it away from them. I don't know if this is for you or not. Might not be. So you kind of pulled back a little. Instead of convincing, you kind of pulled back. But what if you spent this $125 a month, Susie Smith, and what if you don't have to be, you don't crave sweets anymore, so you don't spend the money on the soft drinks. You don't spend the money on the junk food. You don't have to take some of your meds. You don't have to take a sick day. Would it be, the cost seems to me like it could work itself out. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my card, and, whenever, I'm going to give you my card, and you look into it yourself. I've got a lot of people jumping on board, so I'm not going to have time to bug you. See what I mean? You're presenting as, okay, all right, good.
Got it. Thank you.
Hope that helps.
Okay, I'm going to take a picture real quick, so everybody smile, please. Awesome. Sonya, I know you are very busy and you need to run, and we don't have any other questions, so we're going to let you go, but I want you to know that we are praying for your mother-in-law. And so thank you for taking the time to be on our call with us tonight. You've given us so much good information.
Good.
We appreciate it so much.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I could help. You guys go make it happen. It's going to be a fabulous year, okay?
We're going to see you in Hawaii.
I believe that. Anybody can be in Hawaii. If you start right now working hard, any of you can be. Brand new people can be. Hey, I did it in 6 months. Anybody can. Okay?
Thanks, Sonya.
All right.